Hello students, myself Professor Ankur. I welcome everyone for the GATE theory session on analog circuits. Today we are going to discuss an important topic, differential amplifier using MOSFET and constant current sources or current mirror circuits. So this is our third session on differential amplifier. Let's start with the session. So here we are starting our discussion with the circuitry by the name current mirror or constant current source circuitry. So if you observe, we are going to use two transistors by the name Q3 and Q4 in the circuitry. So the top section of the circuitry, you will find there is a current represented on the left hand side by the terminology IREF, and the right side current will be defined as IO. So why the circuitry name is given as current mirror? Because the circuit is designed such that the reference current should be equal to the output current IO. That's the reason the definition came into picture of the term current mirror. Now, the second property of the current mirror circuit is whatever is the current produced by the network, that current will normally remain constant. And that's the reason current mirror circuits were also called as constant current sources. If your observation is very sharp, you can see the transistor terminology as Q3 and Q4 and not Q1 and Q2. So if you observe the terminology of transistor, it is Q3 and Q4 and not Q1 and Q2. So there needs to be a question mark regarding where are the first two transistors Q1 and Q2. So actually they are the part of the differential amplifier. Differential amplifier is already using two transistors Q1 and Q2. Along with that, we are going to use this circuitry, which is a current mirror or a constant current source circuitry at the lower section for current stabilization. That's the reason the terminology of the transistor names are Q3 and Q4. Now coming back to the circuitry, if you observe carefully, the top point for the resistance R is actually ground, and then followed through R, you are reaching at the collector node of transistor Q3. The collector node of transistor Q3 is also shorted for the base points. So if you observe, both the base points of Q3 and Q4 will receive the same base potential. And if you observe the lower section is having both the emitters connected to a negative battery by the name minus of VEE. So when I try to calculate the reference current for the circuitry, the value of IREF will be defined as 0 minus of VEE plus 0.7 divided by R. So it is as good as VEE minus 0.7 divided by R. IC3 and IC4 can be defined in terms of their independent VB potential as IS e raised to VB3 by VT, and IC4 will be defined as IS e raised to VB4 by VT. The advantage that you get here is the VB for both the transistors is actually same, because both the transistors are having base at same potential as well as emitter at the same potential. So VB for both the transistors will be same, and automatically under all other parameters being stable and the transistors Q3 and Q4 being matched, you will find IC3 and IC4 being same. So automatically I can say that IO, which is actually equal to IC4 value, is going to be equal to IC3 value, where the IC3 is approximately equal to the IREF value, because if you see the reference current flowing through R, it comes at the collector node and actually will split into three components. The first component will be the collector current of transistor Q3, and the remaining two components are the independent base currents IB3 and IB4. So since we are assuming that the beta of the transistor is significantly large, we can neglect the impact of base current, and you can easily see that IREF value, which is actually now a split effect of IC3, IB3 and IB4, can be estimated as IC3. And hence we'll end up at the situation where IO will be equal to IC3 will be equal to IC4 will be approximately equal to IREF, and the value will become VEE minus 0.7 by R. So if you observe now, the IRO value and the IRF value are actually one and the same. And that's the reason this circuitry category was called as current mirror category. Now, as I've said, that the current mirror circuitries are used along with the differential amplifier for stabilization. So if you observe the top section of the differential amplifier having Q1 and Q2 with the input points V1 and V2, and the lower section of the circuitry got replaced by the current mirror circuitry. So what will be the impact? The impact will be the current mirror circuitry will try to stabilize the differential amplifier and will try to eliminate the impact of external parameters. Due to any impact, the temperature changes, the external parameters will have an impact on current. So there is a possibility of current variation. But due to the use of current mirror circuitries, they are also being used as a current stabilizer. They will ensure that the differential amplifier does not face any impact or variations in the currents. Overall, if you observe, the current mirror circuitries will definitely try to stabilize the differential amplifier. And during the AC equivalent, the lower section of the constant current source can be replaced by its equivalent resistance defined as small RO, where small RO can be calculated as VA by IO. So all of us are aware of the parameter VA, which is also called as early voltage. Now there are few more techniques of current stabilization. As you can see, the left hand side figure is having an additional transistor Q3 with three resistances R2, R1 and RE connected to a minus of VEE battery. So this is also one of the arrangements for differential amplifier using current stabilizer. And the fourth circuitry, or you can see the circuitry on the right hand side, this circuitry is basically the standard circuitry where the lower section will have a constant current source present. So under ideal condition, the constant current source will have infinite internal resistances because every current source has a resistance in parallel, and practically you will have an impedance of the current source which will be useful in calculating the differential gain of the amplifier during the AC analysis. Now the circuitry that we try to develop for constant current source or current mirror was seen earlier in the form of BJT. Now a similar arrangement is being there in the form of a MOSFET. So I can see a VDD battery, a reference current defined as IREF, and a resistance R, and the two MOSFETs Q1 and Q2, and the current, which is IO, can be seen as I bias. The standard definition for the drain current ID is equal to half mu n Cox W by L VGS minus VTH the whole square. Now, whenever you look at this equation carefully, the drain current is a function of the VGS value. So if you observe carefully both the MOSFETs are actually having the same gate potential and the same source potential. So because of this, when I try to define the MOSFET currents for MOSFET 1 and MOSFET 2, I can define the MOSFET current ID1 is equal to half mu n Cox W by L VGS minus VT the whole square for the first MOSFET, where W by L will be the width is to length ratio for the first MOSFET. And when I talk about the second, I will define the same current equation in the form of ID2. The terminology will have W by L2, and instead of VGS, I'll be using VGS2. So now when I take the definition or I try to relate the reference current and the output current, so the reference current is the current of the first MOSFET and the output current is going to be the current of the second MOSFET. So when I take a ratio of that, you will actually get the values of I0 by IRF as W by L of 2 divided by W by L of 1. So now, what did we understand here? That if both the MOSFETs are actually matched in all the aspects, you will find the W by L ratio same for both the transistor. Automatically, the value of I0 will match the value of IRF. Overall, if you observe the equation of the drain current as half mu n Cox W by L VGS minus VT the whole square, I can also define the drain current as the reference current as VDD minus VGS by R. So now using that logic, I can calculate the values of drain current. Once I get the first drain current, it will be matched with the second drain current with respect to the width is to the length ratio. If both the MOSFETs are matched, the W by L ratio for both the MOSFETs will be same, and automatically you will get I0 equal to IREF. So again we get the concept of current mirror, and obviously the circuitry is a default constant current source because it will avoid variation of current due to impact of external parameters. Now, in case if there is a small mismatch in the transistors, in that case, whenever we take the previous case where the I0 was equal to the IREF, and that was having a logic of VDS1 equal to VDS2 and VO was actually equal to VGS. But suppose there is a mismatch, then the mismatch can be shown in the form of a representation. In that case, the value of I0 will become equal to IREF plus V0 minus VGS by RO, where RO is basically the internal resistance of the device measured from the drain terminal with respect to the source terminal.